go to statistics. Okay, so yeah, my win rates are really bad on some maps, especially Haunted Mines. I find I just always lose there. I don't know. Anyways, so let me just talk about the different maps and the objectives in this game. So Garden of Terror, um, your goal is to capture the plant monster, and one character takes control of the plant monster, goes down the lane, and wrecks their forts and all that kind of thing. Now, there are a couple things about this map, like I think characters that are better at pushing are better at this map, and also characters that can secure the bosses and have control of those fights are better at this map. But characters that are good at small constant team fights are not as good on this map, because it's mostly in lane fighting, and there's some fighting over the terror objectives, but in general I find that the terrors get traded, and one terror is taken by one team and one terror is taken by the other team, and then it ends up being a push battle. That's what I find. So with two good teams that both know what they're doing on taking the objectives. Blackheart's Bay, different story. It's actually all about the objective. So it's all about taking characters that can control the coins, it's not so much about taking merc camps, and it's all about being able to secure and constantly keep getting the boat over and over, because you don't even need to push in this map. If you can just keep taking the boat, you'll win every time. Dragonshire. Now, this, I think, requires the most balanced team out of all the maps, because you need a good 2-1-2 setup. You need two people in the bottom that by themselves can control the shrine, two people on the top that by themselves can control the shrine, and then one person in the middle who can keep the lane pushed, such that when those two top and bottom characters take their shrines, they can actually capture the dragon, and then everyone collapses and pushes mid, and then spreads back out, does it again, rinse and repeat, capture, push mid, push the win with the dragon. Usually I find third dragon wins this map. Sky Temple. This is my favorite map, and my highest win rate. It's super fun. A fact that some people don't know is that basically on Sky Temple, it's set. Every single game, the temples will spawn the exact same way. So in this map, it's important to have good rotations, because you know where the next temple is going to come up, so you need to secure that area with your team before the temple comes up, so that you can control the temple. This is another one like Blackheart's Bay, where all you need to do is the objective, and it'll push down your entire enemy team's structures. All their structures will be pushed by the temples if you capture enough of them. So this is another one that you don't need pushers, you need team fight characters. Characters that can fight for these temples and shrines, or whatever you want to call them, and kill the other team while killing the mobs that spawn from the shrines and all that. So area control kind of teams with good team fight. Haunted Mines. So this is the only 2-lane map and it's my least favorite, and I won't let my bias come into it. I'll tell you how it goes. Basically, Haunted Mines, you want to have good team fighting teams again, except it's not zone control team fighting teams. It is teams with chase potential and kill potential, because as you need a team that can go down into the mines and fight and kill the other team so that you can secure the remainder of the skulls and consistently get strong golems. But, and I'll say but, on only this map, you could also opt for a strategy, and I have one this way, where you ignore the mines completely, and you take a super strong pushing team, and because of the 2-lane nature and how your team can group up, as soon as their team goes down into the mines, you just push through a lane, and you can win with a super hard pushing team, because it takes them time to kill all the things in the mine, and the golems don't spawn until all the things in the mine are dead and collected. So while the enemy team is collecting, you have all that time to push, and you can literally take base forts that make catapults start spawning before they can really respond, if you take a strong pushing team and you choose to ignore the mine's objective on this map. It's like, I think other than Dragonshire, where a lot of the time you see one shrine held by one team, one shrine held by the other team, and the objective kind of goes without being used for a long period of time. Haunted Mines is the only other map other than Dragonshire where the objective is not mandatory to do to win. And then here we have Cursed Hollow, which is my second favorite map. Just lots of small team fights very quickly, one after another. So you need a team with good sustain, and then a team that can set up good jungle team fights against the other team and kill them or push them away from the tributes, so that you can collect your tributes and then go and hammer push once all their structures can't attack and all their minions get 1 health due to the curse. So that's the rundown of all the maps. In terms of mechanics, what I find in this game that people ignore is they focus too much on the team fighting, because you don't need a last hit and you don't get gold from minions and stuff like that. You sometimes leave lanes neglected where you're not soaking XP. This game is about having a character at every XP source, so that you can just soak the XP to your team XP, because your only real advantage, other than good mechanics and good knowledge of the objectives and how to secure them, and good team fighting skills, is that you need to keep your team levels and push that advantage farther and farther, because I find that the farthest you can kind of get it is like 4 to 5 levels is when you're dominating your opponents, and being 5 levels ahead is insane. Like, to reference other games, it's like being full build when your enemy team is on 2 items in League or Dota, that kind of thing. It's all you need people at all the XP sources. So don't tunnel vision so much on team fighting. If their team is constantly clumping in one place, let your team play defensive and keep soaking that other XP source, and eventually, if they don't constantly get kills, your team's going to get ahead, because you're soaking all the XP sources, whereas their team is soaking only one XP source. So you will actually get ahead in that situation, even if you're making small losses here and there. Um, just make sure your team can tell your team to play defensively if that ever happens, and you will eventually get ahead if they can hold it off. Um, so that's what I find loses games sometimes. Teams just tunnel so much on constantly team fighting or constantly ganking that lanes are left unattended, and it ends up blowing up in your face, um, because you get behind in levels, and then when it does come to an important team fight and the enemy team is all there, they're ahead in levels and they win the team fight, assuming all else is equal. So yeah, um, that's my impression of the tier list and my first rundown on the general game itself. Um, and what I'm going to be doing is a series of small chopped up videos, um, outlining each individual character and then how to play them the best way, like the best talents in my opinion, um, and also, um, how they're best used, what maps I think they're best on. I'll talk a lot about each individual character rather than this broad overview that I've done now. So yeah.